Namaste, gods, goddesses, and emissaries of light. This is Dr. Shreya Arimathea. Welcome to my channel. If you are new, please like, subscribe, and do not forget to hit that notification bell so you can be updated on my latest and my current videos. Welcome, 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 everyone. I am going to be talking to you about so much on this live. I didn't even know what the title is, to be quite honest. But let's start with astral projection. What got me interested in astral projection was stepping out of fear, being fearless, being unfuckwithable or unpenetrable when it came to my spirituality. Knowing that I had a spiritual team that brought me in, and I got a spiritual team that's going to help to navigate me out. Hi, Sister Dana. Hi. So that got me into astral projection. Um, I read when I used to work at the metaphysical shop a book about indigo children, and I kept reading these stories. I kept just kind of like going to blogs, and I kept having it just come to me about these children that were molested and how they would astral project out of their bodies. Okay. And when the oppressor would finish, they would go back into their bodies so they wouldn't have the memory or they wouldn't remember the trauma on a mental level, which got me into reading very heavily. I ended up buying 4 books on astral projection, and only one of the books out of all the books was everything that I needed, honestly. And I'm saying this because we are living in a time where there is about to be a shakeup. I'm not saying this to make you scared or to, make you feel doom and gloom. This is not a punishment what source creator is about to allow to befall the world. Okay. Um, Here lately, since I've been in the silence, I've been connected to God so much that I really don't feel a distinction between me and God anymore. And I asked God, can you please let me know what are you really? And what God told me, and it resonated with me so deep, so clear, is God is energy. God is a frequency. It can be utilized. It's everywhere in abundance. But the most powerful utilization, God told me, is from within. Because we already have our God gene, we already have our God DNA waiting for us to tap into it. That's the whole purpose of why I'm doing this divine matrix class, because some of us have forgotten that we're God and goddesses. Okay? We believe everything that we're presented with. How many of us, just show a raise of hands in the comment section, believe that Cleopatra was African and Egyptian? How many of us believe that? Well, up until 2 years ago, God revealed to me that she was a white woman. Okay? She was Grecian, Persian, and Iranian. That's Caucasian, you guys. And we worship Cleopatra as if she was an African goddess or deity. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, her energy, because she was admired for her beauty. But remember, in every freaking culture, I don't give a fuck what culture it is, the light skinned women are always admired. The fair skinned women are always admired. And there are always a standard of beauty in every culture, whether it's African, whether it's American, whether it's Indian, whether it's fucking Asian. So, why am I saying this? Not that I care, because I have Caucasian in me, I have Irish in me. I am a mutt. I truly am. I recommend for everyone, before you start your spiritual journey, find out who you physically are, because your soul chose that. for a reason. Your race, your culture, all of that ties into your spirituality. Okay. Find out your roots and where you come from. Exactly, Dana. We are all mutts. Even my best friend who's Caucasian, he has like 60% African in him, and he has blue eyes and blonde hair. We don't look like who we are as far as our DNA is concerned. We don't. Many of us are mixed with all types of things. I know I had a friend, she was my best friend. Her last name was Germany, okay, which comes from what? Germany. But she was blacker than all I know. But it is good to know where you come from so you can retrace your roots, okay? Most of us have known Cleopatra to be an Egyptian woman with black hair and fair skin because we didn't know that she was really Caucasian. So it's always good to educate yourself, to challenge yourself. You are now at a precipice of walking the journey alone. There is no more teachers, there's no more gurus. You are the teacher, you are the guru, you are the one that is creating and shaping your reality. Case in point, I had it all planned out where I was going to move to, the place I was going to move to, how I was going to move there, and God came and circumvented everything. And now, guess what? I'm in the state of surrendering and allowing for God to direct my steps because I did go ahead of God on some things, not all things. And then the other things I did, I listened just so exactly to the T of what God wanted me to do. And it still boiled down back to one thing. When I went to pay for a few more days here to extend our stay because I did not want to be here longer than 7 days. That was me on the human side. The God within me knew I was going to be here longer than 7 days. Okay. I just broke down and cried because this is not where I want to be. And God has humbled me. It's not about how much money you have. I could be anywhere in the world I want to be. I can be on an island of, you know, Taikiki if I want to. I could be in Jamaica if I want to. But God has me here because I am going through a healing, a deep healing and cleansing that I have never been through before. Like I said, this is not punishment, this is preparation, God said to me. Because I asked the man when I was paying and extending our stay here, he he was like, "Why are you crying?" I said, "Because this is not where I want to be. This is not what God said was going to happen." And you know what he told me? You know how many people that don't even have money to extend their stay? Be grateful, be thankful for what you have before it becomes something that you had. And I told him I lost about 40% of my belongings, thousands and thousands of dollars, brand new purses, MCM purses, brand new Louis Vuitton purses, brand new Yves Saint Laurent purses that I never even touched and brought out the box. I left because I had no room for it all. But you know what God told me? Everything that I lost and left, don't worry about it because God is going to replace that with more. It's going to be beyond what I lost. Just be happy, Tyann. This is what God told me. My rules from God, from source to creator, is just be happy. That's all I want you to be. I just want you to be happy. I don't want you to be sad. I don't want you to be disappointed about how everything turned out because everything turned out exactly the way that I wanted it to turn out for your greatest and your highest good. I called a place and I applied at a place making to start off a $500,000. They haven't contacted me today, or they haven't contacted me yet. But you know what? Today I got a call, and I know it was God because there was no other way that this could possibly happen. And I'm sharing it with you because there's someone that is listening that needs to hear this. God is a miracle worker. God is a God of extraordinary things. God don't do ordinary things. Let me share this story with you. A lady called me from another agency, just like the one I applied for, and she asked me, did I call? I didn't call. And I told her, I'm like, this must be some type of mistake because I didn't call, especially at the time. What time do you have? She had 9:49. I woke up late today because I was up all night praying and I was up all night studying. So I didn't get to bed until like 5 o'clock. So I know good and well, all I need, you can ask Dana, is 5 hours of sleep and I'm good to go. 4 to 5 hours. So I slept for 4 or 5 hours. Woke up at 10, looked at my phone, made some phone calls. Um, And then I did some other things, here, cleaning up, getting the kids in line, and my phone rings. And it was this lady. The position that I applied for wasn't even exquisite at all. It was just a position, but it started off making damn good money. This position that she sent me, not only did it supersede the one that I applied for, but the money starting out is even more. I don't have to worry about where I'm going to live. I don't have to worry about the location because it's just a spit away. Everything is in perfect alignment with everything that I wanted. Nobody cannot tell me that God does not do miracles because I didn't do anything besides what God told me to do, and that was to be happy because He was preparing something for me. All I know is when I came here, I had something totally different in mind, you guys. Thank you, sis. Thank you. I had something totally different. I had the house that I wanted picked out down to the T. And I still may possibly get that home. But right now, you guys, when I say I'm in a complete state of surrender, I am in a complete state of surrender. God don't care about how much money you got in your bank account, how many fundings you have in a trust, how much assets you have, how much you are worth. God don't give a damn about none of that. God cares about your obedience. God cares about, are you going to listen to me, my voice? Are you going to let me guide you? Even though we are able to work with the God frequency, never forget that you are God. You are actually speaking to yourself. You actually have brought yourself wherever you are, wherever you are at whatever time and space, whether it's good, whether it's bad. You know what? An ex has been contacting me almost every fucking day since I've left, harassing me, asking me where I'm at. I didn't tell him. And he finally told me, well, whatever's happening to you is your own doing. You goddamn right. I own that shit. Everything, the good, the bad, the ugly. And I said, let me tell you something about your narcissistic ass. You're just mad, one, because I didn't tell you where I was. Two, I'm not giving you no play. And three, because I'm not giving you my details about my business. My business is my business. And with him being negative and nasty, I don't want him to know a damn thing about me. I don't need him to form no thought forms around my situation because God got me and my kids. God told me to secure, and God told me not to reveal and keep it hidden. And I'd be damned if I go against God. When God tell me the world is ready to know my story, then that's when I'll speak it. But in the meantime, I'm sitting on it. And I only shared what I shared about uh, the business opportunity with you guys, not even to boast or to brag, but to just show you how God is alive and well. how God is real. God is not just this figment of our imagination. Okay? God is able to go before you and prepare ways that no man can even understand or comprehend. God is able to open up doors that were closed, open up windows that were closed, highways that were shut down. Okay? He opened up the whole border for me just so I can get married, just so I can have that experience, even though God knew that wasn't even the right person for me. But that's what I wanted. And obviously, my soul needed that experience. Do our experience. This is how we grow. We do not grow without experiences. We do not grow without change. Change is a must. And this is the reason why I have Romans 12:2 here for you guys that are chiming in. I'm about to decode the scripture for you. Okay? This scripture deals with the force that is actuating your mind force, being positive as much as it is humanly possible because we are programmed, we have programming, okay? And what people call psyop, which is psychological warfare on the mind, that's constantly before us every day. And that is the reason why you got to be in constant prayer every day. My group that is on WhatsApp are well aware of their God selves and being in their God power and standing in it. It doesn't mean that you're going to be 100% perfect. We're not looking for perfection. We're looking to be perfectly imperfect. Okay? You're going to make mistakes. Everyone's going to make mistakes. Right now, we're not only in the 5D, Mother Earth is in 5D, but her children, some of us, we are in 7D and 8D. Okay. When you move into the seventh dimension, that is the dimensions of the gods and goddesses and deities. If you're working with any deity or any goddess, you're already working in 7D. But when you move into 8D, that is when you become a god or goddess. That is when you become God actualized and realized in the flesh, knowing that every cell, every atom, every microatom, every microcosm, every macrocosm, everything is moving in alignment to your godship and your activation. This is where you step into the reality of where you create and destroy worlds. Okay? This is where we should want to be if we're not already there. And this is the reason why I developed the Divine Matrix class, because this is where we all should be striving. Okay? Source Creator put us all here for the same reason. I don't give a fuck about your talents. I don't care about your gifts along the way. We all came here to ascend. Ascension. That's the name of the game for everybody. But trust me, there are going to be many people in their free will who choose not to ascend. To me, that's a waste of time. Then what the fuck are you here for? You're wasting your time if you're not ascending. Because all that's going to happen is the odds are going to stack up against you. You're going to live a miserable and terrible life. And I'm not saying this in judgment, I'm saying this in theory and in practice because I've been there before where I chose to go back to sleep because I felt like that was the good life. And it was the worst mistake of my life. Think about the 3D. Everything on the 3D is third density, it's slower. Your manifestations are slower. Your realities become slower. But when you start, have you guys realized that when you started to ascend and you started to go on your spiritual path, things started happening to you real fast, good and bad? And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. How did that happen? Because you created it with your thinking. Think of your mind as a force, a very powerful ally, not an enemy, but an ally who helps you to navigate through realities. And you can have any reality and create any reality that you so please by this navigational system. Let's call it a GPS, a God positioning system. And you can create the reality that you want, and you can even create the realities that you don't want. Okay? The same water that boils A boiled egg can also make you soup, right? You can also use it to give a baby a warm bath to cleanse your baby. The same water that can also cause tsunamis and hurricanes in the water. Think about it. You have that power, that God given right to tap in at any time to make it work for you. So why not be positive? Why not do your affirmations? Why am I so gifted? Why am I so talented? Why am I so rich? Why am I so abundant? Why am I married to the love of my life who is loyal and faithful to me? These are the things that we're going to discuss further in the divine matrix, is making your words work for you, and knowing that life and death is in the power of the tongue. And about 90% of your creation is going to be on the things that you say as opposed to the things that you do, right? Most people think something and then they do the action second, and then third comes their manifestation or the feeling of how they feel when it manifests or it comes into fruition. Well, in the divine matrix, I'm going to teach you something totally different on how you can really get those manifestations going for you. Because we manifest whether we like it or not, every minute, every second, every nanosecond of the day. We are manifesting something good or something bad. Why not make your manifestations work for you? You know what? Being a human is like being like an open gun. You can fire the gun at any time you want to. Then when you fire a shot, you're either going to hit or you're either going to miss. You might as well hit. If you're going to unload yourself and you're going to put yourself on fire, you might as well aim your target. Don't you think so? Why go around on autopilot and ask God to do one thing, but then say, oh, it doesn't matter. Whatever happens is going to happen anyway. So I'm just going to let whatever's going to happen to me. That is you not taking the driving seat and driving your own vehicle. Nobody on this earth is going to drive a vehicle and jump out of the damn vehicle and say, well, whatever the car hit, it hits. Nobody's going to do that. So why would you do that with your life? Why would you allow for the universe to take over and allow the universe to bless you with whatever the universe feels that you're fit with? Remember, the universe is only going to go off of what you're aligned with anyway, right? So get in formation, okay? Get intentional about what it is that you want and what it is that you want to do. For those of you that are here, give me my phone back right now. Why did you even take it? You know I always use that phone when I'm recording. Give it to me. You have no right to take my phone. Don't do that again. You already cooked dinner without even asking me. And don't you ever do that again either. You cooked dinner earlier and you didn't even ask me. Yeah, it was. Anyway, sorry y'all. I have a child who is too developed that his intelligence sometimes get him in trouble. So anyway, we're going back to how some of us can have hypervigilance, where we can exhaust ourselves because we're doing too much of one thing and not enough of the right thing. Okay? Right now, we shouldn't be doing anything besides being in a state of allowance, allowing God to help you to surrender and unfold your story in a more precise and a more intentional way. All we got to do is just hold the intentions, and God is going to work out everything else. My intentions was to get the other job. My focus was on them calling me back and saying, hey, Tyann, you got the job or you got the position. It's kind of like what I'm already doing. Besides, I'm gonna be on salary. Salary is like working for yourself anyway. I'm not gonna go punch in and clock into a clock, but I am gonna be helping someone build their business and get paid very well and very handsome for doing it. And I knew that I was gonna do this before I got here. I just didn't know how. And now God showed me today the how. When you take one step, God is already 20 steps ahead of you. All you got to do is just take that step. Where I decided to live, where I decided to come, my kids, they gave me so much flack. They resisted me. I even got into it with a child back home who was not even here, who wanted to be here but couldn't come here because they couldn't see my vision. So they started solely on my quest, on my journey, on my pilgrimage. And I said, you can't come because you're already speaking bad against what God told me to do. You laughing at me because I told you God told me to do it. But guess what? At the end, he who laughs first laughs last. Now that person still wants to be where I am, and it can't be. So careful when people tell you that they're doing something that God told them to do it. Because I'm gonna tell you, anybody that knows me knows I would have never moved nowhere in the United States from Indiana. There was no state in this world, in this USA, that I wanted to ever move to. Just the fact that it's still in the United States, I could stay where I am. No, thank you. But I'm so glad that I moved. I'm so glad I took that leap of faith, and it was not easy. It took courage to move somewhere that I've never even stepped foot on. The only time I've ever been in this place is on a layover. Okay. So God is asking something of you to do. That's going to require, it's going to take a leap in faith for you to do it. Are you going to be obedient? Are you going to listen? Are you going to allow your mind to be changed to the force that's actuating your mind? Are you going to allow your mind to be transformed from the 3D to the 5D to the 6D to the 7D to the 8D to the 9D? Are you ready? Because that's what's happening. God is shifting the consciousness in the chosen ones. So we are no longer doing, but we're in the state of allowing. Can you guys type in the comment section, allowing, please? I want to make sure that you really get the energy transference of what I'm delivering to you. You can either type allowing or allowance, whichever, or even allow, whatever resonates with you. Yes. Thank you, Dana. When you are in the state of allowing, there is no resistance, it's zero resistance. This is why God is asking all of his chosen ones to get in the state of allowance. God does not care about your stature. One thing that God damn sure don't give a fuck about is your stature. If you're a doctor, a lawyer, if you are the janitor, or even if you're the fucking bum on the street, when God calls you into action, listen, be in the state of allowance, because when you are in the state of allowance, there is no resistance. You can be used as a vessel from God when there is no resistance. You cannot be used as a vessel of God when there's resistance, when you're rebuttaling, when you're bucking up against God, when you think you know better than God. You don't. I thought I knew better than God, and I'm not saying this to be facetious. I thought I had it all down pat. I thought I knew it all. And God told me, you could have kept everything that you had. You didn't have to lose not one thing had you prepared better. Your lack of preparation caused you to lose 40% of your belongings. And what you lost was worth more than what you took with you. I'll be damned. But guess what? I also know, and God also know, that there was an extension to that. It wasn't just me. There was other people that were involved too to cause me to lose those things because of their selfishness and their unwilling unwillingness to listen because it wasn't their things. They didn't care. They were selfish. I'm telling you, God told me, how much do you trust me? God asked me, Diane, how much do you trust me? I trust you a lot. Okay, then why don't you trust that whatever was left behind was not as important as you thought it was? But everything that you took with you was everything that you needed. And I gotta say, when I go to my storage unit and I get things from it, I'm like, God, I'm glad that I got this. God, I'm so listen, not that I didn't appreciate the shit that I left back there, but I am so appreciative now of even the little shit that I used to just walk right by every day in my home and never even paid attention to it because I had it. Sometimes you can have so much that you become blindsided of what's important. God showed me that, and that was my lesson. I had so much in abundance of everything, you guys, that even my best friend used to tell me all the time, just shop out of your house. My daughter used to tell me that too. Mommy, just go in your office. Everything that you need is down there. And I swear to God, she was always right. Whenever I needed something to do for a ritual, my daughter would look at me and be like, Mommy, don't go to the metaphysical shop. Go down into your office. And as true as the day is long, I would always find the exact thing that I was about to go buy. A duplicate. It would have been a duplicate of what I already had because I had so much. I didn't know what I had until it was time for me to move. All the things I took for granted, that was just right there. But my lesson in all of this is that God has moved me onward and up. All the clothes that I left behind, God said some of that stuff was some cheap shit anyway. And God didn't say it like that, but I knew what God was saying. And I spent a lot of money on it, but at the end of the day, it was not cashmere, it was not wool, it was not linen. These are the higher grades of linen and clothing. It wasn't organic cotton. Some of the shit was rayon. And God was like, are you kidding me? That's what you're crying over? And don't get me wrong, there was some very expensive stuff that I paid tens of thousands of dollars for that I left behind. And God was like, you ain't gonna need that where you going. So trust God through it all, despite it all. Because God knows better. God can see down the street and around the corner way better than we can. Why is this phone not charging? Cielo, baby, plug this up. It's not charging because it's not plugged up. Do you hear me? Get up and charge this phone. It's not about to die, but it will soon. Once it get below 50, this phone acts stupid. Here. It's at 60 now. Plug it up for my mom. Okay? Thank you. Um, so the time is coming where we have to be prepared. All right? Preparedness. This is not punishment, but preparation. All right? So who do you listen to? Well, if you were asking me, my answer would be me. And me is God, the God in me, not me on a physical plane, but me totally activated and acclimated in my God shit. Oh, there's going to be a big shakeup. Okay. Um, with I don't want to say good and evil, but let's say with the devising forces, we are about to go into a cashless system like it was in Lemuria and the Atlantic, in the city of Atlantis. So God is trying to get people to not depend on money to manifest what you want. The people in Atlantis and Lemuria, they had anything and everything that they always wanted because they manifested it. And they didn't manifest it with green stuff. They didn't manifest it with currency. They didn't have currency. They didn't have a currency system. And that was one of the richest cities that have ever been written in the books. So I don't know when it's going to happen. It'll be probably in between 24. Yep, 24, 25. I believe it'll be around that or mid 24. 2024 is what I'm referring to for those of you that are not understanding what I'm saying. It's happening. This is the reason why God has put a lot of his people in some financial difficulties. Not because you don't have access in your spiritual loot lounge. You do. You have a spiritual loot lounge where there is plenty of dough. Okay. Remember, Jesus said, in my father's house, there are many abodes, there's many mansions. There's so much abundance, you guys. God is wanting you to tap into your spiritual self and make that energy, the energy of money, the energy of abundance, the energy of wealth and richness come to life for yourself in unexpected ways, in ways you know not of. This is what makes you the spiritual alchemist. What God has been also helping me to do, and as I'm learning to do it, I'm also going to teach my students how to do it. I'm going to provide them with books. This is one of the benefits of being a part of my group. Okay, I'm not making them pay nothing more than what they already have paid. This is information that is going to set them free financially. It's going to set them free karmically. It's working with Saturn. There's plenty of books out there. You can get lost in it. I have four that my archangels have personally showed me that will change our lives for the rest of our lives, and we will no longer even walk and talk the way that we used to. Yes, we are part of the intergalactic communication. That is correct. I love everybody. You know what? I remember at one point in time, I got frustrated with God and I asked God, why did you have me make this group? It's only 5 or 6 people in this group. But let me tell you something. We are some strong manifestors and we are some strong godlike beings in this group. When the Apostle Paul said that iron sharpens iron, baby, this group is not a plaything. It's nothing to mess around with because we got some very powerful minds in this group. Sade, I'm so sorry. I know that you was talking up here and I did not get a chance to address you, but I just want to let you know that I do acknowledge you. You said you astral projected in your sleep naturally. Most of us do and don't even, know. And hi, beautiful. A lot of us astral project and we're not even aware that that's what's happening. You astral project every night when you go to sleep. But here's the thing. Do you remember what world you're going to? Do you even remember what you're doing? And these I'm recording. One, I'm recording. I'm on a live. I'm on a live. You're silly. He covered his mouth like he was in trouble. Anyhow, but do you remember? Are you dream recording? I learned this a long time ago. My phone's at 7%, you guys. I'm gonna have to hang up. I don't know why. It's not charging why. I got it on charge here. But I used to follow Ghetto Girls. And I think I'm probably still part of the group. I don't remember ever leaving. But he had his dream recording. And let me tell you, when you record your dreams, it means so much more than trying to recall it by memory. But you guys, I'm gonna have to let this live stream go because if not, it's gonna disconnect on me. I did put in the description box if you would like to donate my Venmo, my Cash App, and my PayPal. Thank you so much for chiming in and tuning in. And for those of you that are not here that chime in and tune in later, the offer to donate is still up, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. Namaste.